Hey, this is a bit of a different video. Today, I wanted to be talking about two shows that have been compared to be similar, and that is Squid Game and Alice in Borderland. You know, they both have similar concepts, which is the play several life or death games. I wanted to talk about both of them because I've seen both shows, and I wanted to say, which is better? I want to give my thoughts. Is Squid Game better or is Alice in Borderland better? Well, I gotta get into specifics. Now, first of all, I gotta say that this video contains spoilers to both series, so if you haven't finished both series, you've been warned. Now, I know that Alice in Borderland is originally a manga from 2010, so it's originated longer than Squid Game, although I know the writer for Squid Game has made the script for Squid Game long ago, like 2 decades ago almost, so I don't know if he got at all any inspiration from this manga, but I don't know. So first, let me talk about Squid Game, a show that all of us have probably seen by now. Season 1, first of all. A lot of people love Season 1. I love Season 1. I would give Season 1 a 9 out of 10. It was that good for Squid Game. It just had a really good story. It was just sad. The emotions were perfect in it. It just ended pretty well. And a good to be continued of Gi-hun want to come back to take down the front man in the games for good. Then next came out Season 2. Season 2, a lot of people said that they didn't like it as much as Season 1. Me, I loved Season 2 because it felt more fun. It felt like meme material, you know what I mean? It was just a good time compared to Season 1's depressing feel. Season 2 was great, and it left us at a cliffhanger, which I didn't expect. I thought Season 2 would be the final season. Kind of surprised me. I would give Season 2 an 8.5 out of 10. Then came along Season 3. Now this is the most controversial season by far. The first 2 episodes of Season 3 were setting up to be the best season so far. I was hyped for this because that tag game was really good. That it was elite, okay? That tag game at the beginning of Season 3, I was hyped. But then characters started to die off, and then I saw that Jung-ho, the detective, the detective that everyone says did nothing for the show, he didn't do anything. I expected him to stop the games before it ended. I expected all these characters that we've got a bond for to have survived because Jung-ho broke them all out. I expected that to be the end. But no, everyone died. Yep. Season 3 just had everyone die. What is that ending? The episodes went worse and worse over time for Season 3. It made no sense. The frontman didn't even lose. The frontman survived, and Gi-hun didn't. Think about that. And I have this theory, right? A game theory, that it was originally written so the frontman would actually lose and there would be a good ending. But Netflix said, hey, can you make it so it could be at a cliffhanger and the good guys lose and the bad guys win, so we can make a Squid Game USA? Because Netflix has those $ eyeballs like Mr. Krabs. They see moolah for any show on the Eastern Coast. So, Eastern Coast, what am I saying? Eastern Hemisphere is what I meant. To make a US spin-off of it. Oh no, man, no. And I would probably give Season 3 like a 4 out of 10. Because again, I liked the first few episodes of Season 3, but it was like the most important thing about a show is the conclusion, how you want to leave the show for the audience. That's going to be something people remember, is how it ends. And it just left a bad taste in all of our mouths. So yeah, it's 4 out of 10 for Season 3. So putting all of those seasons ranking together, you get a total of 76.6% out of 100% for me. Rounded up, 77%. I think the show gets a 77%. It's that good. The final season fumbled it really bad. It was just a good show that just, oh man, it's just sad. I don't even want to talk about it. So next, let me talk about Alice in Borderland. So the reason I even watched this was because my dad said that I need to check it out because he said it's so much better than Squid Game, and I said, I'll be the judge of that. So I checked out the first 2 seasons before season 3 came out, and I clutched it. I finished season 2 the day before season 3 came out. Yeah, and I gotta say, it might actually be better than Squid Game. Now, this being originally a manga, I would have expected it to be an anime adaptation, but the fact that it's live action is very interesting. I didn't know it was a manga adaptation until like episode 2, I think. That's when I searched it up because the characters had a very unique design. A character with the white hair doesn't seem realistic. That seems like something you would see in an anime. I was right. It was something from manga. So season 1 started off by, making me interested. Like, what's going on here? Okay, so I liked season 1. I liked episode 1 for season 1. I liked episode 2. Episode 3 was, I didn't like the game that much. And then episode 4, that felt like the end of season 1 of Squid Game. That's what it feels like. The first 4 episodes were like season 1 of Squid Game, and then it becomes season 2, and then it's like season 2 of Alice in Borderland is what season 3 should have been. I'll get to that in a moment. But season 1, right? Halfway through, it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of ruined the feel to me because of the beach, the whole beach situation of like, let's make a group of people and collect the cards together. And then I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but the last 2 episodes of season 1, that was a banger. So season 1, I would give, what would I give that? I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. That's what I'll give season 1. There was some stuff I really loved about it. Some stuff I was like, okay. It didn't turn out to be better than Squid Game season 1 or 2 just yet. Until season 2, the banger of a season. I gotta talk about this season. You guys need to check it out if you haven't, okay? This is a show you need to check out before you check out this review. Season 2, the concept of this show, man, it's about collecting cards, right? Season 1 is about collecting all, the number cards and stuff, but the season 2 is about collecting the face cards, like the king, queen, and jack, which is really cool that if you go collect a king card, there will be a man that you have to fight. If you're collecting a queen card, you're up against a queen card, you're up against a woman to fight. If it's a jack card, it could be anything. It could be a masked marauder that's chasing after you. And it was so nice. I loved the games in this. It was so hyped. And the way they ended this season off, like, this show even had solo episodes for the white hair guy. Sorry, I forgot their name. Chisaya or something. I forgot their name. But that is like the smartest character of all time. I gotta say, that's like the smartest character of all of fiction. I don't know how he was that brilliant. He got solo episodes. He was that cool. And I really liked them. So, yeah. But the way season 2 finishes off, it could have been the end of the show. It didn't need to keep going. Like, it was satisfying, but not fully satisfying, because if you see how it ends, right? They lose their memories at the end, but it's also a happy ending, which season 3 of Squid Game should have had. But I wasn't happy that they all lost their memories, because if they kept their memories, they could have been friends in the real world. All these people that they've come to build a group with, they could have made a friend group in the real world, but they lost all their everything, all their memory. But then it had a little teaser at the end of a Joker card, and I was, that got me hyped for season 3. But I love the way season 2 ended with the final boss, the final game. It was just really good. I would give season 2 of Alice in Borderland a 9 out of 10. It was really good. The only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 is because there were moments where it felt really filler sometimes. Like, it was just carrying on. Like, it felt slow at sometimes, like they were just walking through a forest. There's a lot of forest walking, really. I'm not even kidding. There's way too much of just emptiness. And then they ended up skipping games. What? So you want us to watch them walk through a park that has a bunch of dead people, but skip all the games. Like the character Anne and that one girl, I forgot their name. They entered a game together, but it just skipped the whole game. We just saw what happened at the very end. They defeated the queen or whatever it was. So I wasn't. You know what that reminded me of? The Bear. If you've ever watched The Bear, it's like how do I say this? The Bear was really slow. If you've seen it, you understand what I mean. It's such a slow show that, like, there's so much scenes that didn't need to be shown, but then the moments that you want to see, it skips it. I don't understand why. It just completely skips the scenes that you want to see. That's what Alice in Borderland Season 2 reminded me of. It had some of that. So that's the only reason it's, not a 10 and it's a 9. And lastly, Season 3. I was kind of concerned of Season 3, and I think a lot of people were too, because of Squid Game Season 3. They weren't really sure if it was going to turn out nice. I mean, the way they ended Season 2, right? I was like, how would they even go on? Everyone lost their memories and they returned. Like, what's going to happen? And Season 3, it started off slow. A lot of the games I didn't really care too much about. I don't know, Season 3 was it was not as good as Season 1 or 2, unfortunately, which is really sad. For both Squid Game and Alice in Borderland, Season 3 was the weakest season, which, what you want your show to be, right? If you're having 3 seasons, you have to make sure the first season is really good, so the audience stay, the viewers stay to keep watching the show. You don't want it to be the weakest, because then they're going to drop the show. Season 2, you could make that the weakest season, if you like. Season 3 has to be the best. You have to try to make Season 3 the greatest season, because that's how people are going to remember the show by. That's what they're gonna leave the show with. It needs to be satisfying. And Alice in Borderland, Season 1 was really good. Season 2 was even better, which, because the bars were super high, they had to make Season 3. They had to make it good, but it just didn't work. Squid Game, Season 1 was better than Season 2 for a lot of people, which that's why Season 3 had to be the best. They couldn't do it. But Season 3, right, of Alice in Borderland, the ending, it was good, but I preferred the ending to Season 2. Like, Season 3 ended with, like, them going back to the real world, but with their memories. But Season 3, it felt like I lost all my progress, right? When I started Season 3, I felt like I just restarted the whole show. Like, my memory just got wiped. All these characters that we grew to love from the past 2 seasons, they don't even show up. It's like, we only have 2 characters we're familiar with, and that's Arisu and Usagi, right? The couple. That's the only 2 characters, and they do get their memories by playing their games, again. But, it's about trying to find the Joker, which at the end you learn that there is no Joker. It's the shortest Season 2. It's only 6 episodes, while the others are 8. Although it was longer episodes, they were all an hour long. But at episode 3, I had an idea on who the Joker would be. I thought it would be Usagi's father, right? Because they kept saying it on the past 2 seasons that Usagi's father committed suicide, but I didn't think so. I thought that he was in the Borderlands this whole time, pulling the strings of the games and everything, and that's why Usagi made it to the end, because he protected her. I'm just saying, that's what I thought, but sorry, I just hit the desk. That's what I thought, but that was not how it ended. The Joker turned out to be nothing. The Joker is all a card. It was all just a metaphor of saying there's 365 decks in a card and 365 days in a year. The Joker card makes it 365. But if you add another Joker card, it becomes 366 days in a year. Like the leap year, And the Joker card is like a metaphor of time almost, because that extra day is like extra time added to a year. And the Joker card, time is being slow in the Borderlands. I guess that's what it's kind of like. I don't know, but Season 3 I would give a 6.5. it was still good. It was just not the best, you know? That's the thing. When bars are set really high, even something good cannot be good in your eyes because past seasons were just that good. Yeah, it would be a 6.5 for me. Wait, I think I just got my math wrong. Hold on. If you add the average of the Squid Game, the percentage, it would be 71.6%. Rounded up, 72%. The average rating for me for Alice in Borderland would be 76.6%. Rounded up, 77%. So what I'm trying to say is, Alice in Borderland is better. It's by 5% better, in my opinion. I think that everything was, the concept was more interesting. However, the tension was lower, right? Because Squid Game, it's about last man standing at the very end. While in Alice in Borderland, it's just those who make it to the end get to go back. It's not about last man standing at all. So the tension is kind of dropped for that show, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Both shows are really good. Both shows' third season wasn't that great. There you go. So, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.